over a year ago that the Lancet study concluded that 600 and I believe it was 75,000 Iraqi civilians had been killed, over half due to U.S. airstrikes. And those deaths, 675,000 Iraqi civilians killed, over half by airstrikes, those were caused by the U.S. presence there. We're not talking about, just sectarian violence. We're talking about largely U.S. airstrikes. The population of Iraq, more than half of it is under the age of 16. So we're talking about hundreds of thousands of child deaths. And if there was a foreign presence in our town that was killing thousands of children, there'd be nothing in my mind that could make it right by them staying longer. You can't fix it once that's happened. If the U.S. were interested in fixing things, they wouldn't be spending all this time securing the oil resources. They would make sure that people actually had power for more than 4 hours a day. They would make sure that people had clean water. The water is not safe to drink by any standard in Iraq. They would make sure that people weren't dying of easily treatable diseases, including thousands of children. So if someone broke into my home and killed one of my children and started exporting the resources in my home, I wouldn't want them just to stay and try to make it right. I'd want them out immediately. So my question follows up on Fawn's question, which is, I want to know how many bereaved parents Representative Baird spoke to in Iraq. I want to know how many orphanages he visited. I want to know how many hospital wards he visited and talked to children who had amputations due to airstrikes and bombs. I want to know if he actually met with parents mourning the loss of their children.
As Teresa pointed out, we met with Baird before, one-on-one, small groups, doing what constituencies are supposed to do. And he actually voted against the war to begin with because he knew it was wrong, and he still knows it's wrong. So the question is, for example, what is he doing? What's he doing right now? He can't be convinced that much in 2 weeks. He used to be a professor himself. He's not that stupid. He's not that stupid that he goes there for a week and then tries to figure out that we're going to win the war. Several things that you really can't say too much new. This is 5.5 years since the war started. 5.5 years since this phase of the war started. Not including the sanctions that killed 1 million people from 1992 to 2003. Not including the war in 1991 where we killed 200,000 people. Not including the 1 million people that Lancet pointed out that have died in Iraq since then. If you add those numbers up, that's 2.2 million people in Iraq who have died. Not including the 3,750 Americans. That's up to today. When I got that sign, it said 2,000 is too many. I keep adding numbers every time I come to a protest. Next, it's going to be 4,000 before Thanksgiving. And it's going to be dying for nothing, just like Vietnam. The Senate had testimony last week that the war could last for another 8 to 9 years. Add that on to the 5, where you got 15, 16-year war, which is the length of the war that happened in Vietnam. The length of the war that happened in Vietnam. And we lost that war, and we're losing this war too. Somebody pointed out that we need to get out with honor. You can't get out with honor with a war that's illegal. It was started illegal, there's no honor. We should support Lieutenant Ouattara when his trial comes up in October of this year. Because people do give up careers, but they're the brave people. The brave people like Daniel Ellsberg, the brave people like Lieutenant Ouattara, not the cowards like Brian Baird. Because I know Brian Baird, I've met him a couple of times, and I have respect for his intellect. I don't have respect for his integrity or his morality. He knows, for example, what's going on in the Middle East, and he's talked to people from Palestine and Israel. So there are things that we can do. We need to keep this pressure up. We need to make Brian Baird's life hell, because he's making the life of Iraq people hell. We also need to, I think we should ask the staff to actually really consider, because I met the staff more over the last 5 years, and every staff person I met is really a good person. And I know every staff member must be concerned about this. If you resigned en masse, that would actually make a difference. There are better jobs than working for Brian Baird. Think about this, you cannot make an honorable war out of a dishonorable war. If the war is illegal, Germany can't withdraw from Poland with honor, and we can't withdraw from Iraq with honor. But we need to get out. One of the points that Brian Baird makes actually makes a little bit of sense, that it's going to be hell with the first 6 months and the first year after we leave. And that's probably correct for a certain period of time. But it's hell right now. We're losing 12,000 Iraqis a month. That's the Lancet study. 12,000 Iraqis a month. That's 400 people a day. We just threw 3 Americans a day, on average. 3 Americans on a day. If Brian Baird's change of position causes the war to last 1 day longer, he's just contributed to the death of over 400 people. There's no honor in that. If he wants to change the position again, and he'll look like a fool if he does, but he will probably, he should take the path of people like Daniel Ellsberg and sort of use the information that he has, not try to buck for a job maybe. One of the things he might be trying to do is buck for a job with the Clinton administration. Who else is going to actually, the new Clinton administration, who else is going to continue this war on the Democratic side? We can't trust the Democrats. The Republicans are worthless as a political party, not the individuals. Just the last comment I'll make is that the Dolores Huerta, the anti-farm worker president a long time ago, basically pointed out we got 2 political parties. We got the conservatives and we got the bastards. We cannot let the conservative Democratic Party run our foreign policy. The people need to run it. So keep it up. Keep Brian's life actually starting to become hell. Thank you.